We're back on the Morning Brew with friends, and we got Gary Opedal in with us and Rhiannon Schroeder from the mayor's office. And you guys get to be kind of in the seats of power here in Albuquerque a little bit. And there's some big stuff going on in the city, right?
There is.
And I think the big thing right now, of course, is ART, the Albuquerque Rapid Transit.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow we find out whether or not we're in the president's budget to get $80 million to help build and support the program.
I love this, and this is a thing that I think what's interesting to me about Albuquerque Rapid Transit is how people are split on it. I know the mayor's office has been pushing this as really an economic development issue, am I right?
It really is. I mean, there's three types of individuals who are not only attracted to New Mexico and to Albuquerque, but will be our job creators in the future. So this is really skating to where the puck is going to be, like Wayne Gretzky used to say, and talking about the future instead of always lagging behind.
Right.
There's the 28 to 32-year-old millennials just before they settle down who are job creators, the 50-plussers who are getting away from snow drifts and tornadoes and hurricanes and earthquakes and tsunamis want to come here, and the solo workers, which is the largest expanding group of employment in the country. All three of them want higher density, mixed use, walkable, bikeable, wide sidewalks, good transit.
Well, why does anybody want to drive and commute anymore?
Well, if you can live, work, and play all on the same route, and the best way to give your family a raise of $8,000 to $12,000 is to get rid of a car.
Right.
And that's the way, when we lived in Europe, that's the way people do. They walk and they get their groceries and their flowers and their beer every morning and find out the news, and it's a way to build community. There's just nothing wrong with it. The people who have legitimate concerns against it are just worried that the disruption in front of their shops they won't be able to survive that part.
It's tough running a business in Albuquerque.
It is.
And you're asking somebody to basically give up their street side parking for a while. You're asking them to give up a lot of things for 6-8 months while it's built, right?
It's a disruption, but we're going to keep one lane east and one lane west the entire time.
All the way up and down Central.
All the way up and down in front.
So I was talking about this with some friends, actually during the Super Bowl, and we were trying to remember where the ART route is planned. What is it? It's 98th Street all the way to Wyoming?
No, I believe to Tramway.
All the way to Tramway.
All the way to Tramway, for the whole thing. The first leg will be Coors to Louisiana.
Okay. And did we ever get the grant to make that overpass on Central flat? Because I know that was one of the big issues with the bus rapid transit, with the ART idea, was that you had to make that crossing there at the railroad tracks in Central flat, right?
That's a different project.
Okay.
That was a Tiger grant that would have accelerated progress on that.
Oh, okay.
We're still going to do it.
Okay.
What we're going to do is get rid of the underpass, which was there, by the way, for fire trucks back in Albuquerque's history when there was a fire station on the west side of the tracks, and the city started going east. Sometimes the trains would be across the track, so it was for the fire engines to get across to the east side.
Oh, so I always thought it was just a honk.
No. That is a fun thing to do when you're through there, but not fun for the pedestrians. So what we want to do is connect downtown and Edo by making that a pedestrian-friendly crossing, and that will happen. But that's not necessary for rapid transit.
Okay, cool. So if we get the $80 million, when will we start construction? How soon could it be?
Well, we already have a contractor on hand right now, but we're looking at possibly March or so, maybe early summer, to break ground and start that first leg of the project. And once we do that, we have a business group that has come together, and they'll look forward. So whenever there's going to be construction going on in front of someone's business, they'll go out a couple months in advance and say, this is coming, this is how we can help, and this is how you can keep your business going through the construction. So afterward, it's like nothing happened.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, the idea with this is, and help me out here, because if I'm trying to go back into the memory banks from when I last really looked at this, but you basically carve out a bus lane only in the middle of Central, right? And then there's raised platforms.
Dedicated lane, roll on, roll off for wheelchairs, bikes, whatever. Think about the last time you were in an airport. The doors open, people get off, people get on, doors close, you zip on your way. Every 7 minutes. And there's pre-ticketing, a signal right-of-way, so the lights are green for them, and a dedicated lane. So that's why it's much better than a bus, and you don't have it pulling over to the side and waiting for people to fumble for their change and then get back out into traffic. This thing literally just zips from place to place. 7 minutes, every 7 minutes up and down Central.
And it's
Very
a
cool.
public safety project because emergency vehicles can also use that dedicated lane. So fire trucks, police cars, ambulance can get to where they need to be faster.
Oh, I didn't realize they could hop in that lane.
They can hop in that lane.
Can I hop on that lane as a regular guy in a car?
No.
No. No. That would be fun, though. Or pulling it back to the future and grab onto the bus on a skateboard.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's probably not the best idea
No, I
either.
wouldn't say so.
We won't be promoting that.
Right, right. But what's the next step on this then? So we get it along Central, and then what? Do you take it to Uptown? Do you
Health
branch it
Sciences
off?
Center to airport.
Health Sciences Center? Oh, that's going to be huge.
Right.
Because right now one of the struggles is getting people to the airport.
That's right.
And then I know that down the line, I've heard the mayor say that this is that right-of-way, essentially. It's the same as light rail, am I right?
It's
More or less.
It's a 200th. Think about this as a subway above ground. It's a 2,000th the cost of doing subway and digging up the whole street. It's a 200th the cost of light rail. So it's
Okay.
appropriate for Albuquerque.
Right.
We don't have unlimited resources. We can go do a light rail.
Right.
But this is very close to light rail, and we're hoping it's going to be electric buses. We hope that we will be able to have a very nice, good ridership up and down,
Right.
and it's going to be a different quality of ridership. I mean, from the bus standpoint. So it's going to be totally different than a bus system, but it's going to be that transit that the next generation looks for.
Right.
50% of people now live in cities. We clicked over that last year in the world.
Right.
It's going to be 70% by 2040. Again, we have to start thinking about the future and the long-term health and viability of Albuquerque.
Right,
And as
skating to
we-
where the puck is.
Exactly, and as we continue to be an age-friendly city, this will not only help millennials, but people who are aging and people who want to retire here in Albuquerque. They may not want to drive, so this system is going to get them to where they need to be safely.
I look at stuff like this as stopping the DUI problem myself, because this is the thing. Like, if I want to go out and get a beer, I'm not going to drive. I want to hop on the bus. Like, if I want to go to like the new Matanza or whatever up in Nob Hill, I want to be able to hop on the bus and go up there. I don't want to drive.
Exactly.
And that also it connects our convention center with Nob Hill, with the most visited place in New Mexico, the Biopark. All right, and so you can connect all those places easily.
That's a wonderful segue because we have the Secretary of
right.
Tourism coming in. I love it.
Mexico,
We'll ask her how some of this stuff might relate to tourism, which is, I think, the state's second largest business.
It is.
I think so.
And connecting the rail runner all the way around to the airport.
Awesome.
Yep.
We're back in a couple of seconds in the Morning Brew.